How's it going, everybody? So in today's video, we're going to be talking about extremely common jiu-jitsu stereotypes. So we're going to talk about this right now. What's up, guys? My name is Chasen. I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I've been teaching and training now for over 12, 13 years. So if you guys like all things jiu-jitsu, I post, all jiu-jitsu content here, techniques, talks like this, sparring, all kinds of things. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button down below. I appreciate all the support. Recently, I just did a TikTok video, which I'm very ashamed to say, and I apologize because I'm going to force you to watch a TikTok video. And it really was kind of poking fun at some of the standard stereotypes in jiu-jitsu. So check that out right now. I know you may have not found that funny, or you may have, but I reposted it also on my Instagram and on my Facebook page. And I actually had people reach out to me and ask about those stereotypes because they actually had questions about what if I am one of those guys, or what if I do have one of these guys in my training partners, what should I do? So make sure you guys, check out my TikTok down below here. If you want, you can check it out. Also, my Facebook page and Instagram page are down in the comments below. So with this, let's look at the very first stereotype that I had right now. Okay, so the guy that says, hey, I want to roll around, let's go light, and then he goes 100%. So what am I referring to in this stereotype? There's always a guy in the jiu-jitsu gym that is known as like the gym warrior, or the guy that just can't tone it back. And sometimes it could be the most fun guy in the gym to train with if you are also that personality, because you feel like he is maybe one of these strongest training partners, someone that you just feel like you get the best matches in. Maybe you're someone who's a little bit newer, you're not as big about clashing heads. This can be the most annoying person to roll with. And in the beginning, when you're a white belt, you don't really get much choice about how you can roll. You don't really have any other gear but 100%. It takes time to be able to fine tune it. But the person I'm really kind of making fun of is someone who's kind of like a blue belt or a purple belt normally. It's this person that says, you go up to them, hey, I just my body's a little bit injured, I'm a little bit sore, and I just want to roll around light today. Why can't we roll around light? And they're like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. I think it's because I don't know, maybe they just don't want to say, no, I don't want to roll with you. They don't want to deny a roll. But usually they always agree and they're like, okay. And then in about 20 or 30 seconds, they're rolling 100%. They're fully gripping your arm. They're trying to pass your guard as fast and as hard as they can. And it's just a standard stereotype person, someone who cannot turn back the intensity. There's a couple suggestions I have when dealing with these people. Number one, if you're not an instructor or kind of like a head figure at your academy, please tell your instructor that this student kind of does this and let the instructor handle it from there. There's a way that they can kind of coach them and encourage them to kind of tone it back. If it's in the moment and, obviously you can't just stop the roll and go communicate to your coach, just almost like go even slower. What that does is like a person who is going like 100% and then this person is like barely moving, it seems like you're kind of denying the person a roll, but really they're kind of being the dick because you ask them to go lighter and they don't. Don't be nice, don't reciprocate that, don't meet their intensity. If you want to roll slower and controlled, do it. Let them freak out and go crazy. And usually in my experience, when this happens, the person who's going 100% gets the point and then they start to calm down. But usually what happens is people have egos. I know I did this and I still sometimes do this, is when I say I want to roll light and the other person says okay, and then we both start rolling, I want to match their intensity, right? If their intensity is here and I want to be here, but they're staying here, pacing, I naturally start to rise. But don't fall for their tricky games. Takes time, but go from there. Okay, now let's look at stereotype 2. That's right, the guy that's injured, attacks your injuries the first time. This happens very frequently. There's just so many times where as jiu-jitsu practitioners, we do joint locks and chokes and we're twisting on each other's joints all the time. And because knee injuries, elbow injuries, shoulder injuries are just so common, it always seems like when you tell a person that you have an injury, it's like the first submission they attack. It's funny, when I made this video, I actually did this to my student the other day. totally not thinking about it. So see guys, I'm even a bad habit of doing these too. That's why I kind of made the parody video, make fun of myself. Sometimes people tell you, oh, I have a knee injury, and then before you know it, you know, you're like carving and pinching over that knee. Maybe you're even going for a knee lock or an ankle lock on that knee, and you're like, man, I just told you my knee was hurt. Why are you doing that? And you're like, man, I forget. And so it could definitely happen on accident. And I'm not saying everyone has malintent when they try to do this, but definitely there's people that just don't care. Maybe you can tell the person, hey, my knee's a little injured, and then during the roll be like, hey, make sure you watch my knee, and then they still don't care. That's a dangerous training partner when that happens. That's, once again, if this happens, you need to make sure you go tell your instructor immediately after it happens. Go tell them, you know, as soon as it happens, hey, I told Mike, you know, my knee was hurt. Mike still went after my knee, and then I even told him during the roll while he was going for a knee bar, and he still tapped the knee bar, and I had to tap to it because he wouldn't let it go. You know, we need to tell your instructors these things so they can help you and they can kill it from the top down. Obviously, if it's happening during the roll and you've told them, you know, tap early, tap often. If you really feel like that this person does this all the time and it's a constant problem, try to avoid sparring with them. Don't spar with that person. Hopefully, you know, you can move away. You know, if you know you're a little bit injured, as you get more familiar with your gym training partners, you know people that you can roll with when you're injured. You know what techniques people like to do, so you can strategically pick your training partners. About when people say, hey, my shoulder's hurt, and then it winds up about 2 minutes into the round, the person's attacking the shoulder that you just told them was hurt. Like I said, I've been guilty of this, not because I feel like I'm that person all the time, but because you just start to get training, you start to get on autopilot, you're going for techniques, and before you know it, you scooped up the arm. What you need to do to make sure you keep yourself safe is keep telling the person, if they're going for that arm, just reiterate, hey, my shoulder's sore. Hey, my shoulder's sore. Please don't go for that arm. And then me, I'm always like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, my bad. I move on, I change positions. I maybe even let them come back on top or get a better position on me. I just try to really communicate with them that I didn't really intentionally go for the shoulder and it was just totally by accident. So mistakes are gonna happen. So if you feel like though you're super injured and where you're the person that like has shoulders, elbows, knees, and you have like 10 things injured, okay, don't be the person that says everything's injured and your training partner can't tap anything on you. That's kind of taking up mat time and mat space and quality training with some people. You know, you need to be able to get your body to a healthy enough place and be able to train healthy enough to where someone can at least reciprocate, you know, get this. You don't just want to be this person that just shells up all the time and no one's ever allowed to do anything. You need to be able to move on and progress, because realistically, if we're training for a real life self-defense altercation, you can't just tell the assailant, hey, my shoulder's hurt, don't grab my shoulder. That's not gonna work. So you need to eventually get to a point, whether it's, you know, going and getting surgery, getting physical therapy, getting to a point to where, you know, you can train and your training partner can start to semi-attack those with. Before we move on, if either one of these things are you guys, make sure you leave a comment down below. If there's another one that I missed out, but leave me a comment down below about which stereotype that you guys, you know, don't like training with or commonly see. Now the last one, check it out now. So this person right here is commonly known as a sandbagger, and that's a person that's usually been grappling for a lengthy period of time. And you know, you're a new student, or you go do a drop-in at an academy, you go to visit somewhere, and you know, maybe it's no-gi, you can't really tell what rank they are, and so you're talking to the person and like, how long you've been training for, and they're like, oh, I'm pretty new to jiu-jitsu, and then come to find out they have like 15 years of judo experience, or maybe they were a D1 wrestler. You know, they have quite a bit of experience, or they're a white belt, but they've been a white belt for like 8 years and they just never got their stuff together, but they've been an 8-year white belt, did judo, also done wrestling. Okay, you've been grappling for a while. You're not your brand new person who comes walking in day one. You guys are not at the same level here, okay? It's just a common stereotype. I've had that happen to me so many times. I live in Oklahoma, so we have a lot of good grapplers here. Kids basically come out wrestling. If you go up to someone here in Oklahoma and you say, well, how long have you been doing jiu-jitsu for? They're gonna be like, oh, I've not really ever trained before. But then you ask them like, how long have you been doing any kind of grappling? They could say, you know, 15, 20 years. And they're only like 25 years old because they've literally been wrestling since they were 5 years old. So that's a different level of caliber of grappling. There's some telltale signs you can tell if someone's been training for a while. You can tell by their pressure. You can tell by their techniques that they do. Also, if they have like giant cauliflower ear, that's probably a pretty good telltale sign. But it's just a common stereotype that people have, that people are like, yeah, you know, I haven't been doing this that long. And then come to find out they've been doing it like 10 plus years. And you're like, well, I've been doing this 6 months. So, you know, we're not the same. Even though you're a white belt, I'm a white belt, this is not the same thing. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave me a comment down below, leave a like and subscribe down there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This was just kind of a fun parody video, but I also wanted to take the opportunity to, you know, talk about these things, because I actually did get some messages from people who were wanting some more details about these people, and so I thought that was interesting. Me out at TikTok, also all the Instagram and Facebook stuff. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.